XO number might be Mike Karanian, possibly. I know he was going to be going in through his phone.
Okay, if that is him, have him hit *9 on his phone for me.
Mike, if you can hear that.
Looks like Will is still trying to connect the audio as well.
XO number might be.
Let's see. Okay, that phone number just disappeared.
Huh.
I see Mike on this side, though.
Oh, okay. Perfect. There he is.
Yep. You are all set.
Perfect. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
Hey, Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes, Mike,
Oh,
I can
good.
hear you now.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't get in.
That's okay. We all had that issue. A meeting went a little bit longer than they expected,
All right.
but thank you for joining. Okay, perfect. I'm going to do a roll call unless you want to do that, Eric.
Or Noreen can do it. Roll
Yeah,
call.
sure.
Yeah.
Perfect, Noreen, if you don't mind doing a roll call. The only thing is that Judy Igelski, she had called me yesterday and she's excused from tonight's meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Bechter. Commissioner Bechter. Commissioner Ekstrom.
He's here.
Commissioner Ekstrom.
She is excused. Oh no, Ekstrom, Audra,
I haven't heard from her.
no.
Commissioner Hutzvager.
Here.
Commissioner Karanian.
Here.
Chairman Payne.
Present.
Commissioner Bashand.
Here.
Commissioner Dunning.
He shows in, but still muted.
Hector is here now too.
Okay, fine. You're all set, I guess.
Perfect.
So it looks
Thank
like
you, Noreen.
looks
Oh,
like
you're
you have
welcome.
to seat somebody for Audra.
Yep. Seat one
Okay.
person for Audra. Yep. It looks like, John, if I'm not mistaken, I've seated you last time. So since Sharon is here this time, if we could possibly seat Sharon Dunning, if Sharon's okay with that, if she's able to come off the mute.
He's trying to.
Maybe I can try to send her a message.
I can see her, but she can't, she needs to swipe her phone to unmute.
Okay.
I'm on the computer now.
Okay.
Your signal was not working, and so I was doing both. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm here.
Perfect. Sharon, if it's okay with you, I'd like to seat you this evening in place of Audra. If we can make a motion possibly to seat Sharon Dunning in place of Audra Ekstrom.
I'll make a motion to seat Sharon in place of Audra.
Can anyone second that?
Second.
Tim.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Perfect. So before we begin, let me explain how the ZBA meetings are run. There's usually two parts to the meeting. The first is a public session in which the petitioner will begin by stating their name and address and explaining their petition and what their hardship is. After the petition has been heard, anyone from the public may speak and express whether they are for or against the petition. After all the public participation, the public session of the meeting will be closed. During the work session, the public may stay but cannot comment. If the petitioner does decide to stay during the work session, that's fine. If they do not, they can call the building department in the morning and they will let you know the decision. I would just like to go over the ways of voting. If there are only 4 members seated at the meeting, which there are not this evening, we would have to have 4 affirmative votes to approve the variance. For tonight, since we do have 5 members seated, there can only be 1 no and the rest of the members do have to vote yes for the application to be approved. So for right now, this doesn't matter at all for any of us because we do have the 5 seated members. So if, Noreen, if you could please read the application if possible, and then we'll hand it over to, Jose.
Okay, certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, application 00-21-03. Jose Shivari of 68 Ralph Avenue is requesting a variance from 2 sections of the zoning regulations. Section 4.5, Table A of the zoning regulations to allow an accessory structure in front of the principal building, and from section 4.41 of the zoning regulations to reduce the required 20-foot front yard setback along Meadow Street to 7 feet. The property is in the R12 zone at 68 Ralph Avenue.
Thank you very much, Noreen.
You're welcome.
Jose, if you'd like to, speak and start off by stating your full name and address, that'd be great.
Sure. In first time, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jose Chavarri. I am from Peru. My address is 68 Ralph Avenue, Newington, Connecticut, 06111.
If you'd like to speak about your variance and what you're looking to do, that would be great.
Perfect. First, let me share with you, I am from Peru. I live here in United States almost 3 years. My family, wife and 3 kids live here in United States from 2014. We buy a new home in the last year, and my home don't have a family room, and I, with my wife, try to convert my garage in family room, but we have 2 cars and needed put it in the driveway, in our driveway. The reason for my petition is because, you know, the inclement weather that exists here in Connecticut, snow, rain, heavy rain, sun, I need to protect the cars. This is the reason that with my wife, try to put this carport in my driveway. We have 3 kids, 12, 7, and 6, and they don't have any place in my home for run or for watch a TV or stay with family, right? This is my petition. I hope that you understand my situation. So sorry, my apologize for my bad English. I live here almost 3 years, but I try to learn every day. In my country, I am a physician, I am a cardiologist in my country, and now I stay in the process to revalidate my licenses of the the physician here. But until this moment, in these 3 years, for example, I have different licenses, have different works in Waterbury Public School, in Bridgeport, and Denver. But for me, the most important part is my family, and this is the reason that I stay in front of you and explain my points for realize these variants, no, in my home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jose. Is there any questions from any of the members that we can ask Jose? If anyone does have any questions, any comments, anything they'd like to ask at all? And if you do, if you could please just state your name right beforehand so we can know exactly who is speaking each time. I'd appreciate
Nicole,
it.
if I can real quick, this is
Yeah.
Eric Hinckley. I've been out to the site, so I might be able to answer a couple of semi-technical questions or something if Jose can't, or
Perfect.
so.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. And,
I'll start,
okay,
John Bouchard.
okay, John?
So this is not attached to the house, I'm assuming, Eric?
No, what he wants to do is basically close in the existing garage and just butt the carport up to that.
So freestanding or,
Correct, yep.
and what is it constructed of? Is this going to be a frame construction?
It's just gonna be a
Temporary?
carport. To my knowledge, it's just, 4 posts with a roof. We didn't really talk about specifics of the carport itself.
Because a frame construction with a gable roof is going to look like it's part of the structure, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
maybe,
have. Go
yep,
ahead.
maybe the applicant can
Eric.
answer that question if he has any ideas about the construction of the carport.
Yeah, Jose, go ahead.
About the question that the sir asked me, or the sir asked, in my imagine the construction is three poles in each border, in each sides, and
Right.
one roof. No walls, no frame. It's only 3 poles and the roof. No more, for protect the rain or the sun. No more than.
Jose, it's Nicole. Do you know what it's going to be made out of? And is it going to be the roof attached to the home? Like, how is it going to be stabilized from any sort of wind or anything like that, as well,
Yeah. When I talked with the constructor said that the poles is the 10 foot and 2 foot under the land, and put it the roof with shingles, no shingles.
Yep,
Is
you said it right.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah, and 6 pieces of the wall of the hood in the roof, and this is the connection. And put it poles here, 2 poles in the center for the balance of the roof, no? of the roof.
Okay. Eric, you had your hand
Yeah.
up?
Yep, I just wanted to point out that if you do end up approving this at some point, he would have to go through building permits for the process to make sure that all the anchoring and everything would be sufficient for wind loading and all that kind of stuff. So,
All right. Any other questions, comments, anything that they'd like to ask Jose or Eric at the same time?
Commissioner Payne?
Yes, Sharon?
This is Sharon. I do have a question. Well,
Yep.
first I wanted to make a point that on the petitioner's letter, he states in paragraph 2, he's not placing a carport for protection. I think you might want to strike that and say you are requesting, just to make sure that we're consistent. So I didn't hear, it is going to be attached, right? It would have to be. Right? It's going to be attached to the garage, which will be turned into a room. Is that correct, Eric?
I believe so from discussion. He's going to have some kind of a attachment to the structure, but possibly not if they can meet all the codes they need to by just butting it up against there. That is an option, but that would be whatever building requires for wind loading and whatnot.
And are we aware of any other properties that have a similar construction, meaning the design of the home with a carport?
There are other homes in town with carports. Typically, they're on the side of the house, not in front. But there are
This
a
is
few
the
around.
front of the house. I wasn't aware of
Correct.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's part of the issue.
It's hard to tell. Okay.
I have one more question if no one else does.
Yep. Go ahead, John.
Eric, is the entire structure in the front yard? In the
The
front
pro-
yard setback?
Of the carport, no. I mean, if you look at the plan now, you can see that the front building line on Meadow Street.
I see it's diagonally across. there.
Correct.
So
Exactly.
about half
it's-
of it. Yeah, about half
Yeah,
of it.
so basically, as you can see, just that one corner really is going to be the most encroachment into the front yard area. And again, as I pointed out in the staff report previously, the original developer came in and got a variance on the front yard on that side to reduce it by an additional 10 feet to get a larger house in there in 2007, I think it was.
So that's
So-
already been reduced from 30 to 20?
Correct, exactly.
Mhm. Well,
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Nicole. No.
I have a question. How far away from the property line is it going to be? After the carport, if the carport is approved, will it be from the property line?
By scaling of the plan with the dimensions the applicant gave me, it looks like about 7 to 8 feet, that one corner. The other corner is obviously going to be much farther away, but the closest corner on Meadow Street will be probably 7 or 8 feet. Again, by scale, it may be a little more, a little less in actuality when it.
A little more or a little less? Okay.
Yeah, it could. I said that was just scaling it. So, once we get, a building plan, if it gets approved, it would be something different.
Okay. Any other questions? By any members at all?
One question.
Go ahead, John.
Do we have an option to table this long enough that we can go out and look at it? If I looked at the plan earlier, I would have gone out earlier today just to kind of familiarize myself with it. It's a pretty significant structure in the front yard, so.
Eric, if we could,
Potentially,
I'm not voting, of course, tonight anyway,
Right.
but I'm just saying that,
yeah, if you're not voting, I don't, it's really up to you guys, commission. If you want to table it, we could table it and leave the public hearing open to still discuss it in the future. We'd have to do that. And then we would either have to call a special meeting or just wait until September at the regularly scheduled meeting to take action. So
All right.
that's going to really be up to you. I do have, since this is the public hearing portion, when you guys get to a stopping point, I do have an email that somebody sent me that they would like read into the record.
all right. Any,
I have another question.
Go ahead,
So
Sharon.
the staircase that's there is obviously the entrance to the front of the house. The carport would extend beyond that?
The staircase, yes, it would.
So then does this staircase have to be altered? Because I'm just trying to imagine if you have two cars there, the carport comes out closer, then wouldn't that cut off part of the access to the stairway?
well, there won't be walls there, if I might just add that.
Oh, so
As you
this wall that's there now would be gone.
No, there wouldn't be walls on the carport. if I'm
Right,
correct
but I
there.
mean, this wall that's there now would be gone, right?
No,
I think it's still going to be attached, Sharon.
See,
I
that's
think
what I'm
part of the
thinking, so-
concrete.
Right,
That-
so
that-
I'm thinking then when you put the carport on top of that and come out, you might have to, you would be blocking part of the stairway because you have a carport and two cars sitting there. I'm just trying to figure that out, how that would, one, look aesthetically and two, safety. It seems like it would be hazardous.
That is a steep slope there now.
Yeah,
So the actual, the side on Ralph Avenue is probably 3 or 4 feet higher than the Meadow Street side. It slopes up there.
it just looks hazardous to me. And thinking that you would have two vehicles there as well. It's possibly a trip hazard, potentially.
I agree with you on that, Sharon. It's Nicole.
When you
For-
think about winter and ice and you
Yes.
add all these things to it, it becomes a real danger zone unless the staircase was going to come out differently. I'm just thinking for safety, it creates a hazard.
Yes.
If I could
is-
just add, somewhat come to his defense, it is just going to be 3 posts on each side. So unless the post comes right out in the middle of that stairway, it really shouldn't be an issue because you'd be just walking onto the pavement that's there now. And you could park cars there now regardless whether there's a carport or not. So just to play the other advocate on the other side of that argument. That it's a
Right, the dri-
safety issue. I don't think it's a safety issue. So.
The
I have
driveway
a,
has
Go
been
ahead,
there
Eric.
since the house was built and as the stairs, so it has been in that same condition, just obviously without a carport.
I just have a question. It's Nicole. What exactly is the hardship for the reasoning of a carport? Even like being able to, make your garage a family room shouldn't be an issue, but to add the carport and take away a lot of that front setback, what is the hardship towards this?
I think that question's for you, Jose.
I try to understand the question of the lady. The principal situation for putting the carport here is protect the cars, not protect the cars from any sun, and snow or heavy rain. This is the principal point, because I am beginning in this year, and every dollar that I have is so important for me. I buy these two cars. The second part is not new. I need to protect from the light, from the snow, because this is my point. But my another point is, you asked me, maybe you have a garage in this moment, yes, but my kids needed a space for run, for play, for stay with us, for study. This is the reason that I stay in this situation, that convert this garage in the family room. This is the point. I think that it's not exist now problem for any accident, because yes, exist stairs in the in this driveway, but when it snow, for example, or I think in this moment put it the door in the garage. When I close the garage, I think put it a windows and a door for enter for this way, for this part. I don't know that if my answer is good for you, or maybe try to more explain.
If I can just interject a little bit, when I was on site and met with Jose and his wife, the discussion of, it also came up, which I kind of referred to in my comments, was, the triangular shape of the old lot and the size, of, 6,000 square feet or 7,000 square feet, which was technically an approved lot because it was so old. And in that zone, currently 12,000 square feet is required. So I think part of the reason was the shape of the lot as the hardship that they discussed with me.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric and Jose.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the time that you hear me. And I hope you help me about this project for me and for my family and for me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions, comments that they'd like to ask Jose or Eric before we close the public participation and open up the work session?
Yeah, Nicole, this is Tim.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
What is the roof type going to be, and then is there going to be any flooring put down? Or what's the material going to be used?
Tim, I think he had said, if Jose wants to speak, but I think he had said there was shingle. I think he said the roof was going to be shingles and it was going to be 3 posts, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I'm not sure what the posts are going to be like, but I think it's going to stay on what the driveway is.
Correct. Yes, it's not going to be any
floor.
flooring. Correct. That was my understanding as well.
Is it going to be a flat roof or like gable? Because I'm just worried about the window there in the front.
He stated that he was putting a post in the middle, if I'm not mistaken, Eric. So I think I'm going to assume that it's a pitched roof.
I would assume so too. I did not speak to his contractor, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Any other questions or anything before we close out the public participation and before Eric is to read the email? go ahead, Eric, if you'd like to read that email.
Okay, this is from Cindy and Andy Donofrio at 53 Meadow Street. They say, we are writing in response to the request for a variance from 2 sections of the zoning regulations for 68 Ralph Avenue. We feel having a carport added to the driveway of this very small lot is unsafe and do not support it. The fence that somehow was approved causes blind areas, and we feel another structure would make it worse. If you are coming down Ralph Avenue to Meadow Street, you cannot get a clear view to the left due to the fence. If you're coming off Church Street down Meadow, you cannot see the intersection with Ralph Avenue. It is a safety concern that the children that live here may get hit from running into the street due to the blind area, or a car accident could happen as well. Additionally, there are no other carports in this neighborhood except one that is on Amadon Street, and it is in the back of that home. That's all.
Thank you, Eric. I had a question. I think I had asked you before if the engineer was going to go out there and take a look at the sight lines at all.
Yep, I have an
this?
email from him. I
Okay,
can read that as well. This is from the town engineer, Gary Furstenberg. Hi, Eric. I drove the site today. The proposed carport will be behind the 6-foot vinyl fence. The proposed carport will not reduce site distance any more than the 6-foot vinyl fence currently does.
all right. Thank you very much, Eric.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions or anything they'd like to ask Eric or Jose before we close the public participation? If not, then I'd like to make a motion to close the public participation and open up the work session.
Second it.
Okay, Bill seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Would anyone like to speak about this?
Yeah,
just-
Mike. Can I start?
Yep, go ahead, Mike.
I don't think there's a hardship. They already had a variance brought for the lot. The lot can't handle anymore. I mean, they've put more on that lot than really should be on there.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
What was that?
Point of order. You have
Yep.
public participation before you go into your work session. That's its own section for the public to comment on any applications, but you have none on. I just wanted to make sure you understood that before we
Yeah,
got
I
into
did.
that.
Yeah, any public participation we did before we closed it.
No, that would be comments under public hearing. You've got separate public
No.
participation as part of
Yeah.
your agenda.
Go ahead. Yeah,
There's nobody else in there. I just wanted
there's
to make sure.
nobody.
Yeah,
No problem.
there you are.
Okay, Mike, continue.
I was just saying that I'm against it. I don't think it should be there. It's a hazard. They've already had a variance. And to bring it farther that close to the street, I think it's hazardous and the lot can't handle it. It's unfortunate that, it's a small lot and they want to do that, but that's the way it is with that small lot.
All right. Thank you
That's
very much, Mike.
Yep.
Anyone else?
I'll just add,
okay.
if I can, John Bashan.
Yes,
I have mixed feelings about it, so that's why I suggested taking a little break from that. And because it is asking a lot, I agree. I don't know if it's a safety hazard or not. I'd like to look at it myself, but it is asking a lot, clearly. I think the hardship is the size of the lot, as Eric pointed out, and the dimensions of the lot. So I'm kind of, torn between, to be honest with you. So I don't think it would hurt if, I'd go back to what I said. Maybe we could all drive, when we have a chance, drive by individually, and if we felt we wanted to, and take a look at it.
thank you, John. I
No.
think Sharon was right after that.
Yes,
Sharon?
I'm inclined to kind of lean toward what Mike was saying, that, I'm concerned about the safety issue, and then hearing the neighbor concerns, I think that I'm leaning against it. I think that it could present an additional hazard on such a small area that it encroaches on, and I'm not convinced that we should do that.
Thank you, Sharon. Would anyone else like to speak or any questions? If not, I'll say something. Possible.
Nicole, I have a thought here.
Go ahead, Bill.
I took a ride by earlier today and then, as I see that fence there really does block things off from view of anybody coming down Meadow Street towards Ralph Avenue. And, I can see the point that folks made on the safety issue. I suppose the children run out from behind those, the fence there, the vinyl fence, and don't hear or see the car coming, or forget to stop and look, whatever the case may be. I hate to, see a problem happen that didn't necessarily have to. But anyway, I'm kind of leaning towards no, but I'm not, I'm open to more information.
All right, thank you, Bill. I just don't see the valid hardship of being the corner lot, and safety aspects. I did drive by it, and, Ralph Ave does sit a little bit higher, and I did see the fence there, and coming around Meadow, I can see the neighbors, how they, that's kind of a blind spot to be able to see anyone coming around there. And to add a pitched roof, if anything, too, I think will add to the height from Ralph Ave, you being able to see, I know you can see over the fence a little bit, but having a pitched roof there too is going to be a lot tougher to be able to see over the fence line now of any vehicles coming in sight line or anything like that. Yeah, I just don't see how it would be safe. But any other questions, comments that they would like to make? All right, if we could close up the work session, if we're all set, unless we have any other questions or anything like that. And then we'll open up the minutes. Or Tim, did you just come on? Nope.
Nope, no question. Nope, nothing.
Okay, perfect. I'll make a motion to close the work session and open up the minutes of the previous meetings.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 I looked over the minutes. I don't see an issue. But I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was someone that wasn't here for the last one that can't vote on it.
I wasn't, Mike Crane.
Yeah. Mike,
Yeah, I can't vote.
did everyone else see the minutes and approve the minutes at all, or are fine with them? Any issues?
One thing, they got my first name wrong.
What was that, Bill?
Yeah, they got my first name wrong. It's Willard.
There you go.
Willard.
I'm sure
If-
Noreen can make that correction.
Perfect. Thank you. Anything else? Maybe we can table that and approve that for next month or the next meeting that we have.
You can approve it with that change now. That's fine. She'll make the correction.
Perfect. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
I'll
with that
second.
being changed. Thank you, Sharon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Let's see. Any communications and reports, Eric?
Nope, I have nothing. Currently, we're still at some point, depending on the status of COVID, we may go back to in-person meetings. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So there'll be more information forthcoming on that.
All right, thank you. And we'll go into the new business. Noreen, would you mind reading the application if possible?
Nope, that's fine.
Thank you.
Yep. Application 00-21-03, Jose Shivari of 68 Ralph Avenue is requesting a variance from two sections of the zoning regulations. Section 4.5, Table A of the zoning regulations, to allow an accessory structure in front of the principal building, and from section 4.4.1 of the zoning regulations to reduce the required 20-foot front yard setback along Meadow Street to 7 feet The property is in the R12 zone at 68 Ralph Avenue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is where we're gonna be doing the voting. If anyone wants to make a motion at all, or I'm happy to make a motion for approval or denial of the application. Okay, so I an objection to the application. So I don't see how there is a hardship. So I'm voting as a no for this, but I'm not sure how we can go about saying something in particular for that, but
Well, you need a second for denial, and then you would vote. And
Okay.
take action that way.
Second,
Okay.
who is that, the first one that said that? If you could just state your name?
Mike Karanian.
oops,
Okay, Mike, so we can go through a vote, if that's okay. I'll state each
Yeah.
person's name that's here, so then
Yeah.
they can say
Just do a
that.
roll call vote, correct?
Perfect. So John Bashan, unfortunately, you cannot vote because we didn't seat you. Bill Bector, if you could vote, please,
vote in favor of the motion.
in favor of the motion. Okay,
To deny, okay.
yep. Sharon Dunning,
I vote in favor to deny.
Timothy Hutbagner,
I vote in favor to deny.
and Michael Cranian voted no, as well as I voted no in favor to deny.
Correct.
So that is all in favor of a no. Unfortunately, this application cannot be approved. So anything, yeah. So,
Not
old
much else.
business, what was that, Eric?
I said, yeah, there's not much else to do from there, so.
No, old business? Anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no old business.
All right,
Just one point, Eric, and if I may.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, what is the process if someone wanted to reapply? Are they able to reapply for the same application, or does it have to be significantly different, or does it have to be a certain period of time?
It does have to be different. Because originally on the front yard setback that was approved, they originally applied for I think a 15-foot front yard, and that was denied, and they did come back and get the 20. So it does have to be different. I don't know what the time frame is legally, and there may not be anything. He could turn around and apply tomorrow possibly, but I can look into that and discuss it with the applicant if he chooses to do something going forward.
Not to give him unreasonable hope, but I'm just bringing that up. So to point out that nothing that we decided here precludes him from ever trying something different in the future.
That is correct.
I have a question for the committee as well as for Eric. Just a fun thinking of it. I just don't feel like this was a valid hardship. And I just don't feel like it should have come to us, because I just feel for safety wise and everything else that we had stated. Is there a way that we would be able to refund him his money for something like this? Because I just don't feel it should have gotten this far.
I was thinking the same thing, Nicole.
Me
But
too.
I don't know, Eric, how that works exactly. If it's even possible.
I can look into it. I mean, we do have, obviously there's staff time involved, there's advertising involved. So, I mean, there is inherent costs that we have, and the fee is to cover that. It's like TP0 wetlands. If someone brings forth a valid application and have a complete application, they have the check and everything, you can't turn it away.
No,
You
I
you have to
understand that.
Yeah, you have to
but
accept the
it's-
application. So I can look through our bylaws. I don't have them in front of me for ZBA, and see if it discusses the potential refund or something along those lines. And I will also check up the food chain, so to speak.
Perfect. That would be really good. I'm not sure if we could table something like that for the next meeting and we could figure that out. If everyone is in agreement with something like that.
I'm not so sure I am. I'm concerned about a precedent. If you start to do that, others might feel they're entitled to the same thing. So I'd be concerned about something like that, because normally if someone petitions for something and they don't win the petition, that's the end, to go and try to get your money back for filing. If you start doing that and other people get wind of that, they're gonna want the same thing. And there are expenses incurred for filing and the processing, the office work and administrative piece. So I don't know. I'd just be very careful of going down that road. So,
Right, because then we might be hearing 5 or 6 variances a month.
that's right.
and, it could potentially bog us
Good
down.
point.
That would just be my concern. And then once word gets around that we did it for one, then others are going to want the same thing. And we'd have to come up with a rationale for why we would deny others. So just be careful.
All right, sounds good. No problem. Okay, if anyone has anything else, if someone wants to make a motion to adjourn, I don't think there's anything else.
So move.
Only one, I'm sorry, it's possible that I share my work?
Yeah, really quick, we were about to adjourn.
Yes, no, it's very quick. I only said thank you for your time. It's real that you said it's difficult to pay almost $400 for a person that have in these difficult times, no? In these difficult times. I know Eric told me about that. If not approved, don't go back my money. But it's difficult to accept all of them because when you have 3 jobs for get the money, obviously almost $400 plus 40 for the sign is a lot money. No, I know that is my it was my option, but only say thank you for your time, and if possible to go back some of the money, I appreciate, because that this time is a very, very challenged time for work, for stay or forget this money. This is my unique point. Thank you so much again.
And
Thank you.
Jose,
Oh, go ahead.
when you bring the sign back in, I'll give you the check back for the sign deposit. Yep.
$40, yes.
Yep,
But,
so you'll get that back. I know.
exactly, but you told me about this, but it's almost $400, no?
Correct.
I know that you have your rules, you have your situation, but I hope that only if possible, that it's possible. I appreciate so much, because all needed in this time, all needed the money. No?
Gotcha.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Jose. We're very sorry we couldn't approve this evening. And I hope this doesn't sway you into never trying to get a variance, or coming back with something different at some point. And I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second.
Second, Bill? Oh,
That's
all in
fine.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everyone, I hope you all have a great night and stay safe. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Night.
night.
Bye.